To see the entire 60-minute video, go to Yahoo Video and search Robert Morey on their homepage. These links will also get you there. www.putfile.com/lieutenantcolumbo/media or staugustinian.blogspot.com and look for important Dr. Robert A. Morey links.
And you need stuff that's readable. This is why I put together this book on Islam. It took me 5 years. It's not a 6 months wonder. I had to read the type of research I do, every English title on Islam in the Library of Congress.
Islamic Invasion by Robert A. Morey. 10 years of research have gone into the book, including reading every book in the Library of Congress on the subject of Islam. And I'll tell you this, folks, that's no small feat. You're able to live off of the sweat of a scholar who has cloistered himself in the Library of Congress.
Once again, we hear about the 10 years of research and the sweat of a scholar reading all these books in the Library of Congress. Well, when it comes to doing research, how does Truth Seeker Bob evaluate a book? Let's find out.
As with any cultic mentality, they claim everybody and his uncle. In regards to Fudge, he tried to sue me. I called his book Argumentum ad Ignorantium because he claimed that no one had ever dealt with the issue. And I looked in his bibliography. He had never read Walter Martin. He had never read Henry Buse. He had never read Lorraine Bett. He never read anybody. Well, he did no research. Hence, his argument is based on sheer, unmitigated ignorance.
Using Truth Seeker Bob's own standards for judging the quality of research for a book, how does Morey's book on Islam stack up? How many books on Islam has Truth Seeker Bob read according to his own bibliography? His bibliography lists 130 titles. Many of these include standard references such as the Encyclopedia Britannica and tracts from the American Tract Society.
Well, he did no research. Hence, his argument is based on sheer, unmitigated ignorance.
Is this what Truth Seeker Bob would say about his own book based on his own standards of judging research? The Library of Congress lists over 7,000 books on the subject of Islam and almost 2,000 titles, if not more, of English titles on Islam in the Library of Congress. Yet Morey's own bibliography lists only 130 titles.
He never read anybody. Well, he did no research. Hence,
based on Truth Seeker Bob's small bibliography, by comparison to all the books available on Islam, how many books and writings does T.S. Bob list in his bibliography that are written from a pro-Islam point of view, i.e., books by Muslim scholars and apologists? If he lists any at all, do these represent the sum total of all Muslim scholarship available? Is it possible that T.S. Bob had, quote, never read, end quote, certain Muslim writers, and, quote, hence his argument is based on sheer unmitigated ignorance, end quote?
And about 30 years in grace, and I have about 30 books, and I do a book a year. For every year of grace when I was born again, I think that's important.
When it comes to the Mormons, I have the book, How to Answer Mormon. Jehovah's Witnesses, you brought it up, Lori. I wrote a book, How to Answer Jehovah's Witness. No, having written 30 books, been involved in the apologetics for 30 years.
The listener just heard Truth Seeker Bob on his Truth Seekers radio shows. 2 excerpts, in fact, one from November 13th, 1993, and the other one from April 30th, 1994. In both cases, Truth Seeker Bob claims having written 30 books. However, at the time of these recordings, his Research and Education Foundation Comprehensive Catalog listed only 17 titles. The question then needs to be asked, do small pamphlet-sized booklets count as, quote, books? What about unedited manuscripts that no one wants to print or publish? What constitutes a book? Of course, we know Truth Seeker Bob would never exaggerate or sensationalize something.
Dr. Morey, weren't you attacked or almost attacked by a Muslim mob at one time?
Well,
giving a lecture?
I was speaking at a major university, an academic lecture, and about 400 Arab Muslims stormed the platform. I had 2 bodyguards, and I had to be rustled out a side entrance. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Emotions were high, and they chanted in Arabic. They got upset, and what frightened me, they accused me of being an Israeli, not an American, and that I was a member of the Massad, that is the CIA of the Israeli nation, which means there would be open hunting season on old Morey here. And let me, in case anyone's listening, Hank, be assured I'm not an Israeli and I'm not a member of the Massad.
These sensationalistic statements by Truth Seeker Bob were spoken on the Bible Answer Man broadcast of April 28, 1992 with Hank Hanegraaff. And now let's hear a few more quotes from Truth Seeker Bob.
Because there are people like that who, if they really were honest and they really wanted to know the truth, they would be willing to look at this.
And there's a lot of liars out there. And Jesus said, be not deceived. There are lots of false prophets. They will come to you in sheep's clothing. And there's a lot of people who write a lot of books who lie about a lot of things. I'm just saying that I don't care if they're so-called Christian writers or non-Christian writers. Try to check it out.
That is, men who fear God. Therefore, they will be trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain.
I didn't have any previous training, but if a sucker can be taken once, he can be taken several times.
But you seem to go against the grain of from what I've heard.
Yeah, I'll make it very, very simple. When I was a student at Westminster, you must understand that God gifted me to be a profound reader. I mean, I'm talking 20 books an hour, 25 books an hour, where I literally would go and find such things.
Robert Morey, who has claimed in his ministry mailings that he held a degree from Faith Theological Seminary, Gujranwala, Pakistan, has had this supposed degree revoked by the same institute. The certificate of cancellation is seen here, and the school can be contacted for more information. Morey claims in newsletters that he has mailed out by the thousands nationwide during different years that the Wessel brothers of Texas had embezzled and stolen large sums of money from his ministry, and therefore he needs supporters to send him as much money as they can to make up for this. Morey has consistently made these claims about the Wessels brothers, who he, in more recent years, refers to as the Russell brothers of Texas. These claims have been made by national mailings, word of mouth, facts, in his church, at national conferences, and even on his national radio show over many years. Documentation and witness testimonies indicate Morey has claimed the Wessels have stolen anywhere from $30,000 to as much as $150,000. Instead of turning the Wessels over to law enforcement officials for criminal prosecution, Morey has chosen to seek those who will believe his Wessels-Russell Brothers of Texas story in order to secure sympathy and financial support. If Morey's claims about the Wessels and or Russell brothers are untrue, then Morey is telling false stories in order to obtain money from the public. If you or someone you know has heard this story, or more importantly, if you have actually given money to Robert Morey as a result of this story, please contact us right away. Please contact Larry Wessels, Post Office Box 144441, Austin, Texas 78714, or call 512-218-8022 and leave a message. And now for a final word from Truth Seeker Robert Morey.
David, welcome to Truth Seekers.
Hello, Dr. Morey. How are you?
I'm doing fine, having more fun than is legal.